But speaking of people being on mute, man, it seems like the OKC Thunder, their 3-pointers was on mute last night because they could not hit one. Well, they hit some, but not enough to keep them in the game because Luka and them came out. I guess that, like I said, that press conference with that video woke Luka up. Outside of them injuries, he must have got some icy hot or a little bit of Bengay because he was looking like a whole nother person last night. PJ Washington, not too much. Kyrie Irving, not so much. A little shaky. But I'll say Cooper, but Luka Doncic gave you 31 points on a triple-double. And now the Mavs are up 3-2. Look, say we hit the rivalry has started, yo. I know, right? We really got to talk about it. I mean, Kev was upset when we asked what was the biggest reason why the Mavs lost. But now we could flip the table and say, hey, what's the biggest reason why OKC lost? And I'm gonna start with you, Tony.
Yeah, so watching that game and watching a lot of things there, apparently OKC hasn't understood the meaning of insanity. Trying the same thing over and over again and getting the same results. Because they tried the same thing over and over again. Like, as a team, you have to play your style in the playoffs, but you gotta mix it up a little bit. They try to force their style on you. And the thing is that the Mavericks have adjusted to what they do. That guard play isn't going to work. And it's not going to continue to work because of how they're playing defense on it right now. Mavs are switching well. They're coming right over picks. But then the biggest thing is I don't know what they're going to do with Luka because I've never seen somebody that plays in like everyone's moving at a different pace and he's moving at like slow motion. Like he moves at such a steady pace. No matter what he's doing, he's moving at a steady pace. And yet he still drops buckets. He still gets rebounds. He still sets his players up, sets his teammates up for shots. And they can't stop it. So the biggest reason why they're losing is because they haven't, learned to adjust their style of play to what the Mavs are doing on defense. And then 2, they can't come in. They stop one player and slow one player down, and another player shows up. And they don't know how to adjust to that. And that's one of the biggest reasons why I think they're going to probably lose this series in 6. They'll probably lose again. Now, they have a chance of winning. Like, no one's saying that they can't win. They're in the same position we are in Indiana. But they have to adjust. And I think that the team that adjusted better in this series have been the Mavs.
Joe?
The biggest reason why they lost to me is I gotta give Luka his credit. I went on Luka last game, right? I said the reason why they lost was because of Luka, and the reason why they won was because of Luka. All right, but I know that's an obvious answer. Luka, what he finished with? Luka finished with what? 30 triple double, 31, 11, and 10. Luka was 12 and 22, so he shot above 50%, which is good. He was 5 and 11 from 3, so he was. And then I don't know if you noticed, hey Tomo, last time we was on here, I said he was a little slow, right? Mm-hmm. He moved a little. He looked a little bit quicker yesterday. Look a little bit quicker, all right? But I'm going to talk about OKC. This is what I think got them losing. Chet Holmgren. Chet, right? I feel like Chet is a mismatch. No matter who on the Mavs is guarding him. Okay, you want to put Southland, Lively, or Gafford, mismatch. Oh, you want to put smaller guys on him, which they normally do. PJ Washington be guarding them, mismatch. But Chet Holmgren, I was told, through people from OKC, Pat Bass said, Shea said this, he's a dog. That's what I heard. I heard that he's a dog. I need to see that dog come out. I did see a glimpse of it in the fourth quarter. He had 2 dunks. Yeah, exactly, right? He had 2 dunks. He had 1 dunk off the dribble, left hand. I was like, okay, Chet. And I think he had a putback also. I'm like, okay, Chet. But it was too late. But I need to see that aggressiveness. Yeah, right? The one thing about Chet, they don't run nothing for Chet, right? Like, because everything is SGA or bust. I mean, SGA, I feel like he has, J-Mo mentioned in the chat, he had to get up like 30 shots or more. Yesterday, SGA, another terrific game, 30 points, but he took 22 shots. And SGA go through stretches where he's not really being aggressive, which kind of kills me. But I get it, because you want to get your teammates involved. You want to instill confidence in your teammates to make your job easier. But when SGA is not getting the ball in that mid post, they need to find Chet, get Chet in some single isolation situations, which they don't do. I know Devin in the chat talked about Lou Dort as a liability. That's sorry, Dev, I gotta disagree with you. He had a bad game. All right, Lou Dort has been shooting well this whole playoffs. He's been shooting well this whole season. Lou Dort, 39% from three in the regular season, 40% from three in the playoffs right now. He's had a bad game. Lou Dort is not. I think I mentioned it game one in the chat. I said you can't leave Lou Dort open no more. He's a shooter now. I said that in the chat, and he's doing a good job on Luka Doncic. The thing is, now Josh Giddey on the other hand, he's a liability because Josh Giddey is not a shooter and he doesn't bring you nothing defensively like Lou Dort does. When you look at guys like Derek Jones, guys like PJ Washington, when their shot is not on, they can contribute in other areas on the floor defensively, rebounding, stuff like that. Josh Giddey is kind of like he's a liability because they closing in on the paint for SGA to stop his mid-range game. But I think the main thing the OKC Thunder has to do is get Chet more involved offensively, and it will offset a lot of things the Mavericks are doing.
Big reason why OKC lost Game 5. I don't know the Mavs GM name, but that's the reason why they lost. Because that GM making that trade to get them PJ Washington and acquiring a Lively in the draft and also getting a Gafford now gives them that defensive presence, also helps them open up the floor. Like you said, they're doing the little things. Like when PJ Washington was going for 20-plus points a game, he was that that dark horse, right? But then last night, the shot wasn't there, but he was also doing other things to make sure that he was a part of the game. So that I would say the GM is more so. And another thing, I'm leaning on what you were saying, Tony, coaching, and also a little bit what you said, Joe. Why is it SGA or bust? I know you're a young team. I know this is the first time you all are in the playoffs. Again, this is a learning curve, but the same way they scout, aren't you in the hotels watching the game as well? I know you see there's few times with Chet out there trying to end the landlord's life when he's trying to go up for a dunk, but it's just like, hey, slow down, Chet. Don't do it just yet. I know you're trying to get the crowd turned up, but slow down. The mismatch is always there. OKC defense. Again, you want to leave Derek Jones open? You can try that, but after a while, I mean, shout out to J-Mo again. They're going to hit a shot. Okay, this is the NBA. This ain't high school basketball. Okay, where somebody is just not even high school. Let's say blacks out basketball, where you just want to leave that person open all game, and then they hit the big three. Shout out to the Pacers because that's what happened in that game. But my man had 5 points and he hit the three to win the game. But you can't do that with this team because they're going to get hot. Again, Kyrie didn't have the best of games, but how long is that going to happen? That stretch is not going to last too long. He's going to get his 30 again. Again, the lack of creativity on the offensive side, that three-point drought. And guess what, Joe? The Mavs went to the free throw line and made their free throws this game. And the rest was letting some of those calls slide too, Kev. I'm just saying. I remember one game you said y'all wasn't getting no calls. They was letting a lot of things go the other way. So, again, this is a big learning curve, but those are the few things I said. This contributed to that loss for OKC.
I do gotta give Luka some credit too, because he wasn't really crying that much. You know what I mean? Like I rarely saw him cry. It was crazy because one time the broadcaster said, "Luka falls down," and he didn't complain to the ref. I was like, "Dang, that's breaking news now!" Like, God, dang.
It's about to be ESPN step.
And one thing, the facts. One thing OKC had done that I was so glad they did. Remember last time we talked about OKC, I said, Josh Giddey, we need to get more minutes for Isaiah Joe, Wiggins, and all that stuff. They benched Giddey and started Isaiah Joe. I was like, oh, snap. Okay, they watch all too well. But Jalen Williams, man. Jalen Williams is showing me something. He needs to develop his one-on-one game. Jalen Williams, a lot of his buggers are like his isolation game is not as good as I thought it was. You know, with the playoffs kind of exposing that, a lot of his stuff is off of like the help of SGA. Like SGA would create a double team, and then he'll give it to Jalen Williams, and he'll go downhill with a quick step. You know, you get that quick step. You know, so little stuff like that. He rarely doing things one-on-one like he was doing in the regular season. The playoffs kind of showing that. And last thing I'm gonna say is Luka one more time. Luka is playing defense, y'all. Luka is playing defense. I gotta give him his props because he's compared to James Harden a lot, but Luka is showing like literally he's showing some effort on the defensive side of the ball. If he continue to do that, man, Mavericks can be dangerous.
I mean, but every player has that time when they do stuff like that. Even James Harden at times played some defense.
I mean, speaking of OKC, he did block Lou Dort 3 for the game, right?
Yeah.
In game 7.
So I mean, but it's basically like I said, it's insanity. You can't keep trying to do the same thing over and over again and expect to win. You're not going to beat this team that way. And just like Tomo said, I mean, their guards aren't going to have an off night. Dallas's guards aren't going to have an off night like they had last game. Yeah, last game. They're not going to do that. But even though that Kyrie contributed in other places, even though he didn't drop buckets, he contributed in other places,
He
key
did.
defensive plays and things like that. So, but you're not getting the same effort on OKC. They're trying to do too much guard play. The one thing I forgot, I was like, I had looked on a bench, right, and I was like, they got Gordon Hayward on the bench.
Yeah.
All right. And I was like, well, if you're missing shots like you are, I'm not bringing in the guy that can shoot and maybe give you a spark off the bench. Things like that. Coaching.
Yeah.
That's called coaching. Right? Get the veteran in there and see what he can do. Yeah, he hasn't played well all season long, but well, y'all ain't playing well right now. So how about you get somebody in there to go and have the whole what does my man say? You play to win the game. So if you play you play to win the game, then you got to go in there and try all efforts to go and try to win it. Even bringing in someone like Gordon Hayward.
I don't know about Gordon Hayward, man. I ain't gonna lie. Because I like. Go ahead.
I say I'd rather attempt Gordon Hayward than keep throwing Josh Giddey out there and him not give me no production. But at least attempt to see what he can give me.
My adjustment is just give it a Chet. Like Chet is out there, get him opportunities instead of bringing. Gordon Hayward is not a defensive guy, so you got guys like.
You saying start? I ain't saying start Hayward now.
No. I get what you're saying, but I'm saying like we're saying to create more offensive quality possessions without using SGA one-on-one, basically, right? We're trying to get more quality offense. Use Chet. Chet is a bucket. He is. He has a height advantage. But Chet is kind of soft, though. I ain't gonna lie. Like, it was one time he was trying to back up. I think it was PJ, and he lost the ball. I'm like, it was Luka. Shout out to Luka, man. Luka balling. Luka had the key block on SGA, too.
But see, Joe, the thing is that since they keep trying to feed him like that, if you bring someone like Hayward in, it spreads the floor. So it allows people it allows people like Chet to get what you're talking about.
Like Hayward still can't shoot the three or
something. But Isaiah Joe's a shooter. Wiggins can shoot, and Wallace can shoot.
Yeah, but they're not hitting it. It's a different thing.
What are you talking about? They are.
And I'm talking about in that game. I'm talking about in this game in particular. I'm not talking about the series. I'm talking about in this game. So what I'm saying is that if you bring him in, the first thing they're going to be thinking of, they bring him in to shoot three. So if he's running a baseline and doing things like that, it opens things up for SGA. It opens things up for Chet to be able to come in there and him drive and open up lanes. Those lanes were clogged because they were like, we're not going to hit shots. Then why come in there and why come and play defense on everyone else? We just go in there and play. They basically played a zone defense yesterday.
They kept.
That's basically all they played.
Shout out to Grant Hill though. Grant Hill did mention this though. They put Chat on the side with SGA at one point in the game, and they couldn't help out a lot. But that happens. Like, you gotta trust your guys because your guys been good all year. You can't just say like, oh, this is they're not shooting well in this game. Let me put Hayward in. Now, I you know what? I would understand you next game when it's like a do or die game. You got nothing to lose. I mean, not nothing to lose. You got everything to lose. Then I'll get that. But I think their rotation is good. It's just the usage of these guys. Like, not Giddey. Giddey, I don't know about Giddey, but I'm talking about use Chat more. SGA ain't got Chat is a bucket. He's unstoppable. Like, not unstoppable, but he is a mismatch.
I'm with you, Joe, but I'm also, this is the game you might want to try that. I'm not doing this in a do or die moment because if it's do or die, I got to go with the guys that got me here. But in this game, if it's not hitting, hey, Hayward, let me see what Hayward can give me right now.
And that's what
Hayward give me a spark.
That's true.
That's my point, Tomo. Thank you, Tomo. But that's really my point, Tomo, is that at this point in time, in that game, in that particular game right there, they were down, but they were in reach. You know what I'm saying? They were in reach. It got out of hand after a while. After a while, it was more. So like it was basically the violins was playing on the Titanic, So it was going down. Okay. But the issue is that the issue is But the issue is at that point in time, man, you have to go in there and try to get something as a spark. You know what I'm saying? If you come in there and you bring Hayward in, right, and Hayward hits a shot, now everybody that's a part of the rotation is like, whoa, he about to take some of my playing time. So the play now gets up. You have to go in. Sometimes you have to do things to push your players to play more or play harder.
Add a spark too.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. At that point in time, you do that. And now the other thing you do is now that you got Hayward in there, now he's warmed up. So if you do need him in game 6 for a reason, and now you have that other player you can go to in case things go awry. So that's the only thing I'm saying. You always got to be forward thinking as a coach when it comes down to that. You got guys on the bench that you haven't played that can probably give you a spark. Use it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I get it. Oh, it's not. I get it. Yeah. I get it.
Right idea, wrong show. And if you don't know, we're gonna tell y'all about just using that link below or just using that description section to figure out all the shows that we have on the network. And I'm not gonna say too much about it because I guess somebody trying to make us a free agent. So I'm gonna say take it away.
All right, let's talk about these shows, man. Tomo funny.